Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
All right, guys, and we are back for game number 2 here. This best-of-3 set between TSLHeart spawning as our red Terran down to the bottom left-hand corner here on Tal'Darim Altar. His opponent down here at the bottom right. We have FXOtgun spawning as our blue Zerg.
Indeed, we're going to be on Tal'Darim for a TVZ, and these spawns are actually going to ever so slightly favor Heart here, despite already being 1-0 in this matchup. Just these spawns do allow Heart to come up here with any type of tank push and siege up the natural of T-Gun pretty easily. Of course, this rotational kind of symmetry does kind of create spawns like that, but it's not the biggest of deals. It's still going to be just somewhat even. There's just a ever so slight advantage in that regard. Also, it will make it easier for Heart to drop the main of T-Gun if their bases were reversed, for example, and Heart were trying to drop T-Gun's base over the bottom left. It would be a little bit more difficult. You'd have to go through the center of the map around some Xel'Naga towers. This way, it will be a little bit easier to just hug the bottom of the map. So it's going to be very important in this game that T-Gun has some very good Overlord placement to be able to watch for those incoming drops.
Yeah, but like you said, that sweet spot underneath the natural expansion of T-Gun is going to be oh so deadly. Siege tanks, just the walk distance to get from the natural of TSLHeart over to that sweet spot is oh so short, and T-Gun is really going to have to put up a miracle defense to be able to hold off something like that. Looks like TSLHeart, though, he's planning for that 11 racks, 2 racks push here. I don't know if T-Gun's going to be ready for that. That's coming pretty aggressively, and it looks like he is going to drop down T-Gun. That is a 15 hatch here, so he's not going to have that early pull-out to deal with those Marines. That could be pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm worried for T-Gun. The number of times I've seen Zergs die to 2 racks is just too many, but usually it's 11-12. Of course, in the past it was 12-14 2 racks, but as that became easier to stop, as people started learning about it, people started doing the 11-12 racks, which does hit a little bit earlier and can just be a little bit more effective against hatchery first openings. But this 11-11 racks, even more aggressive. We actually saw in the meeting game Heart start that 12 SCV, then decided against it, canceled it, went for that next barracks on 11. So he's going to have these next 2 Marines synced up very well there. The first Marine's already on the way, but of course he hasn't scouted where his opponent is at yet. So he's actually unable to send that Marine out until he figures out which base his opponent's at. And that could actually give T-Gun the time he needs to be able to get those Zerglings out.
Yeah, still going to be a little rough for T-Gun, though. He decided to put up his extractor before spawning pool to get out that early Zergling speed, so it's going to delay him on his units, his Queens, his Zerglings, etc. For quite a while. There we go. TSLHeart now finally does see his opponent, sending out a few Marines as well. And is he going to pull any SCVs? Looks like 2 being pulled off the line at the moment, but he's not committing to pulling all of his SCVs for a super aggressive all-in play.
Yeah, we're now watching bit by bit Prime, but we are going to see some bunkers get thrown down. Heart already throwing one down right outside of that natural hatchery, so that will be in range. It's going to be very annoying for T-Gun to deal with. He's bringing a lot of drones right now. Looks like 9 drones coming in here to engage. They are attacking those Marines, and they're doing a very nice kiting micro here from Heart thus far. Oh, he is going to lose 1 Marine, but there have been I think 3 drones already have gone down just to the 1 Marine, and here come the reinforcement SCVs and Marines, and the bunk is going to complete. Oh, this is terrible for T-Gun. He needs to either start setting up a spine crawler out of range of that bunker, or, I mean, he has 6 more lings on the way, but there's 4 SCVs here setting up more and more bunkers, and it's certainly not looking good for T-Gun at this moment.
No, not at all. Heart in a prime position to go ahead and repair those bunkers as well. Still no response on the spine crawler, and this would be a nasty way to go. T-Gun trying to rally in as many units as he can, and he's not ceasing production of his drones as well, but by doing that, he's taking away from those attacking units, and TSLHeart's going to be able to take down this hatchery, no problem. Looks like the Queen going to push its way out, does go down, unfortunately. Heart going to take down this hatchery.
Yeah, this is terrible for T-Gun. As you said, he continued his drone production. There was that moment he made 6 lings, and then he made 2 more drones, despite the fact that a bunker was already up at his natural. So I really think those 2 drones should have been 4 more lings. That could have actually allowed him to break through this. I don't know why he made that decision to make those drones, but it could end up costing this game and this series. Since he's already down 1-0, he can't afford to die to this 2 racks, and the expansion from Heart is already on the way, so we will be able to transition out of this pretty easily. Speed's already done from T-Gun, so that will help him out, but he just still has a pretty small overall circling count. And look at this, the bunkers and supply depots are still going up from Heart, trying to create a wall off here, so no surround will be able to happen from these links.
And T-Gun was supply blocked very, very bad, so I'm surprised he didn't decide to try and drop down a couple of desperation spine crawlers or something along those lines, free him up a little bit more supply. He is waiting for that Overlord to come out now all the time. Heart is going through, killing more drones, and increasing his supplies. He does have his expansion up. It's about 2/3 of the way done over at his natural. And T-Gun looks like he's rallying in some last-ditch Zerglings, but Orb, this is going to be tough.
It is going to be very tough indeed. Even if he takes this out, you've got to think about what's going to happen afterwards. He's going to kill off bunkers. He's going to waste a lot of lings killing bunkers, which of course can just be salvaged. He's going to waste a lot of lings killing off these Marines. Even if he wins the engagement, he'll lose a lot of his Zerglings. That's just a fact. So then he'll get to Heart's base, which is completely walled off by these 4 barracks. Heart's expansion is already done. So even if he kills these off, he's just going to be so far behind in this game, and it's going to be a terrible uphill battle.
Yep, and we have our another Queen coming out of T-Gun deciding to put up a couple more drones as well, but he's already behind by 12 supply. He's already behind by an expansion. 2 more racks coming up for TSLHeart, and he's trapping all of these lings. Here comes the surround, but oh wow, looks like the SCVs are actually taking the majority of the damage. The last few Marines pop out for Heart out of his bunkers, and he's able to clean up that entire Zergling force, and now T-Gun is left with nothing.
Oh, that was tough to watch, I gotta say. Pretty painful. Not to be like, trash talking T-Gun's decision or anything, but that was actually probably one of the single worst places to engage with those lings against the Marines. They were right up against the minerals. They were in the choke points. So unfortunately, the lings, as you said, were trapped behind those minerals. Now he's engaging with his drones, but it's kind of a futile attempt to stay in the game at this point. Unfortunately, that engagement, he threw away all of his Zerglings in a very inefficient position. And, I mean, even if he hadn't, he would have been way behind. But unfortunately, there's the sad face, the teary-eyed face, getting thrown down, and the GG. So unfortunately for T-Gun, he will be knocked out of this tournament 2-0. But I mean, for the Korean fans out there, that's good for Heart, our last Korean hope in this TL Open.
Yeah, he makes it through it, and I've got to say, still give a round of applause to T-Gun. T-Gun has been posting up some pretty impressive results lately. He had a really, really good run through the losers bracket at MLG Anaheim. I know he's been working quite a bit lately, but TSLHeart just a little bit too strong. A very, very good game played out of him there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really got to hand it to Heart. I mean, when you're already up 1-0, that's just kind of what you can do in a best of 3 when you do secure yourself that advantage. A lot of people think of each individual game as its own entity, but a matchup, an overall match in a best of 3 or best of 5 or whatever kind of matchup you're playing, you really got to think about how the mind games play out, because when you already are 1-0 in a best of 3, you can afford to take a risk. Go for a 2 racks like that. Try getting an easy, quick win, and even if it doesn't work, you're still up a game. So really well played by Heart in that series overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't go anywhere, guys, because we got semifinal number 2 coming up here in just a second. This is going to be Evil Geniuses Idra versus Desro ZVP action. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, guys. Back in a second.